What I want to talk about is your data playbook and using it successfully, because this is not a tool for everyone. I want to talk to you about who it's for, who it's not for, and then how I would recommend you use it successfully, because I don't want to recommend that you join and then you be like, I'm drowning and like I paid for this tool and I'm not using it. First of all, this membership is for you if you are an established seller. This is not something if you are brand new, if you don't have a lot of products yet, if you're just kind of like getting used to the TPT world. Not for you. You don't have to be like this ginormous seller to see use in it and see success from it, but I would say you should be established. You want to see growth in your business, okay? I feel like that one kind of applies to everyone, but maybe not. Like maybe you prefer your TPT to just be hanging out in the background doing things and I work on it on my own and like whenever I do. But if you are like focused on growing your business, it's for you. You are already trying to use data to make decisions for your business, like you're looking at your top sellers and you're trying to market them, right? So Instaplanner members, I teach you how to do this and I talk about this from a very basic fundamental level. Your data playbook gives you tools to work smarter, not harder. So if you feel like I'm sitting down to work on my business and I feel like I should work on this and I should work on this and I should work on this, I don't know where to focus my time, your data playbook allows you to work efficiently and effectively and make decisions that help you move forward in your business. If you only have this much time to work on your business, you're going to use that time well. So you're not just like spinning in circles going, okay? It also is for you if you were like a data novice, let's say. So you're interested in learning more about data, but you need somebody to hold your hand through the whole process. Probably not for you if you are a total whiz at analyzing all of the information that TPT gives us and beyond, because something that your data playbook does is it takes all of that information and it runs it through formulas and synthesizes that information for you in ways that it's like, oh, I personally never would have thought to look at those particular numbers and apply them to my business. But now that somebody said, here, consider using this piece of information, I was like, oh, that's actually a really powerful piece of information to apply to my business. And I just didn't know, because that's not something that I am super skilled at yet, but I'm getting better. You would like to have somebody hand you all this information in a very visually friendly way. So you get all of these numbers and you get all this stuff, and instead of being like, whoa, spreadsheets and data and numbers and stuff, they give you very clearly directed tools. It's color-coded. I love the little red, green, blue dots, gray dots. The dots are referring to what you should work on for products. The biggest piece is that this is for you if you are going to take the time to use it. If you are drowning in your business, or you just have a lot of things going on in your life right now and cannot take the time and effort to do this, don't do it right now. It's okay to be like, all right, maybe next time. That's fine. But you do need to devote some time to actually using this and to learning how to use it. It's not going to be something that you're like, I joined this thing and now I get this magical fix in my business and everything is all better. It does feel like magic to me, but also you have to work at it. It doesn't just like fix your business, you know? It's a process. And that would be the other thing that I would say that is really, really, really important to your success with this tool, is that you have to understand that it's this ongoing journey and this ongoing process. So you might tweak something in a product and then you have to give it time, and they will reanalyze the data and be like, okay, now here's what we recommend. Or like, yes, your changes were awesome. Or you might get the data back and it's like, not quite. And you're like, ugh. You have to understand that it is a process. They also have live coaching calls once a month where they basically teach you how to use the data and they teach you how to use the tools. When I go to these monthly coaching calls, I sit down in my office, or I sit down on the couch after everybody else in my family is like asleep or doing something else. So I'm in a secluded space. I bring a notebook and a pencil, and I actively take notes during the sessions. So I took out my notes because I wanted to show you. These are my notes from the last session. There's actually like 3 pages. I'm not going to flip through them all. But because this is not something that I am naturally good at, I actively take notes and I write down questions And you can see I have a little question mark here, and I have a little star here, and some crossed out things that were like, I do this, and then I did them, so I crossed them off. But you need to make sure you take advantage of those coaching opportunities and you apply the information that they're getting for you. So the first few sessions that I attended, I came and turned on the video and just watched. And I was like, I feel really overwhelmed by all of this information. Like, I don't feel like I really understand what's happening. And I was like, Ashley, it's because you're being a terrible student. Like, you're not actively engaged. You're not trying to learn. Like, you're just expecting them to deliver this information for you. And they are, but it's not in a way that, like, my brain doesn't just listen and get things. That's not how I learn. My brain learns by participating. So now, and I'm sure people who are part of your data playbook are like, yeah, now we know what you do. I show up with my notes, and I'm very active in the calls. I'm in the chat talking. I'll unmute and I'll ask questions, or I'll unmute and I'll restate things to help me understand. Because I found that if I don't do that, it's just like a lot of information, and I don't have any way to apply it. So they give you really, really good lessons, and they'll do like polls, and they'll ask us questions along the way. But I have found that the best way for me to be successful is to actively take notes. And so I have questions, I have my takeaways, I have things that are, this is what you need to do with this. I have things that are like questions that I then go ask in our private Facebook group afterwards to carry on the discussion a little bit. I have things that are like this one has a star with an A, and it says action, because it's like, okay, this is after this call, you need to do this thing. You have to find a way to make it work for you. Data can be really overwhelming, and most of us, I would say, are not, like, we didn't go to school for business. We didn't go to school intending on becoming teacherpreneurs, right? We're teachers, first and foremost, and we're here to serve our teachers, and these tools help us serve more teachers. You can't just, like, float along and make it happen if that's not how your brain works. So something that I have found to be very powerful is I show up to those monthly calls, and I show up with a plan. So I show up with a notebook, I show up plugged in, I have a beverage, like, I am ready to participate and learn. Because if I don't actively have something to do with my hands to help me focus and pay attention, it just goes whoosh over my head. And then I'm not getting as much from this program as I could be. So that would be something that I would highly recommend, is making sure you attend the monthly calls. Don't try to do everything all at once. Okay? So even if you join your data playbook and you're ready to get started and you're like, feeling really overwhelmed, just start with your top 10 products or your top 20 products, and they give you all of this information and all this stuff, how to do it. But just start small, because if you start with everything, you're going to be really overwhelmed, because they have a lot of information. So just to summarize what they do for you, they'll pull your TPT data and they summarize it, and they create personalized dashboards for you, and then they help you take all that information and take action on that information. And then the other information that I shared in this live is about how you personally can take the tools that they give you and use it to help you be successful. We're all about working smarter, not harder. So if you're going to take the time to invest in this tool, those are the things that I would recommend you do to actually get something out of it. If you have any questions at all about what it is or how I recommend you use it, or like any of that sort of thing, I'm happy to talk with you about it. I'm happy to share a little bit of like behind the scenes of what do the tools actually look like when I say they're telling me to improve my cover or they're telling me to add previews. What does that look like for the data delivery? I will try and help you and answer all of your questions. My link for your data playbook is in my bio, or again, you can just comment and say, hey, Ashley, I would like to check it out. I will be happy to send it your way. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.